Hey y'all, hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Quinton Campbell.
I appreciate you for having me.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Like you said, I'm blessed. How are you?
Amen. We're blessed to be alive. Another day, another day, another dollar, another blessing. So all in one. So I'm just, I always say I'm just blessed to breathe, to see, to love, to live, to learn. That's it. So,
Very true.
but let's Man, let me get my little shakers for that. So I must bring out the shakers anytime I hear something like gems drop. So but Quentin, can you let us know how you got to where you are in your sports story?
My sports story. I'm sorry. Um, I'm 28 years old. As y'all, well, a lot of people know, I've been playing basketball since I was in second, first grade, and I came a long way from the first time I picked up a basketball. Fun fact is, I used to actually play football. I used to think football was gonna be my sport. I was really good at it, but the older I grew, the more I started playing basketball, fell in love with it.
So you went from football to basketball. So like what was the switch on it to where like I really love football, but something about basketball kind of, what made the switch to it?
So growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood where we were always outside, like hot summers, cold, it didn't matter, and we were always playing football, and it's always been a thing. So football was a big part of my life growing up, and that's what really got me into it. But the older I grew, I realized basketball took more, I ain't gonna say more skill, but you have to think more with basketball. It's not just a up and down thing. No disrespect to football, but I just got into basketball and it just made me just I don't know, I just fell in love with it. The transition is kind of crazy, but it's yeah, basketball is just different.
Then this leads to my question because as I always say, so of course North Carolina is the hoop state. I don't care what anybody says. North Carolina is the hoop state, you know.
That is true.
But when it comes to the hoop state, what does it mean to you to be part of the hoop state like culture, especially with Winston-Salem having like a huge history of hoop culture for North Carolina?
It means a lot coming from, like you said, Winston-Salem. I've been around so many talented hoopers, pros, D1 college athletes, not even just D1, D2, D3, a bunch of athletes coming out of North Carolina. I've been to so many runs, workouts. It's crazy how it's crazy to think that some of the best players in the world come from the place I come from or I am from, Winston-Salem. Um, it's a very strong impact in the basketball world. With hmm, basketball in North Carolina, it changes lives. It changed a lot of people's lives, saved a lot of people's lives and everything. So from that aspect, it means a lot. Like just basketball in general in North Carolina.
For sure, like for sure, because I like as you know, I remember we spoke one like a while back, like, and I had just moved to Winston and from Charlotte, because like there's always like this little thing like who's the best city when it comes to North Carolina hoops. It's always like say the 704, the 336, and all this stuff. But I noticed like when it came to the basketball culture in the 336, it is so like so nice. Like the basketball itself, the community in North Carolina, the basketball community itself in North Carolina is so tight knit. But the 336, like the Winston Salem, Greensboro, High Point, it is so tight knit. Like it is so like very like people are so close. It's so tight knit. Like everybody competes with everybody. And what would you say are some of the like speaking of which you're from Winston-Salem, what would you say are say some of the misconceptions when it comes to the Winston-Salem hoops that a lot of people like to try to downplay or overlook?
Uh, just that a lot of people from Winston that play basketball that are really good are misunderstood. We play with a bunch of passion, and people take it like it's arrogant, cocky, when it's just love for the game.
Even I'm t- Man, come with it. Come on, like they are like for real. They are very passionate, and I see it like day and night with it. Like it is so passionate. And speaking of which, who would you say are some of like say the hoopers from like either Winston Salem or North Carolina hoopers that you really looked up to in their game, but also just both on and off the court?
Okay, that's a great question. It's a bunch of hoopers I grew up around. Um, one obviously, one is playing in the G League right now, Zach Austin. Shout out to Zach. He's a great player. It's crazy. He's came a long way from high school to now. He's always been great. Tamir Glenn, everybody knows Tamir. He's one of the best guards in the city. And also shout out to Josh McDaniels. He used to be out here, one of Tamir's best friends. A lot of great guards. Obviously, I looked up to Chris Paul. Like that's the guys from Winston Salem. Went to West Forsyth. It's a big role model for a lot of the guys uh, we grew up with. And I'm trying to think. Mm, a couple other players, coaches. Um, growing up, you got Davian Williamson, Harry Giles. You got a bunch of great basketball players coming out of the city. It's crazy.
Man, you list all the like the good hoopers. First of all, shout out to all of them. Like you said, you got Zach, you got D. Will, you got Harry.
Uh,
All of them just
Josh
coming down.
Howard. I'm forgetting people. Josh Howard.
Bruh, yes, like you like a lot of that. Like if you think about it, I was like thinking to myself, like, dang, this is guard city. Like, but you also had like wing players and power forwards coming out of here. So it's like this is guard city, but it is like you saw, like you mentioned, you had a lot of players that you say you competed with or looked up to, and of course, mentioned Chris Paul. He just recently retired, and also with Josh Howard, he's part of the league NC. Kind of, he co-founded it as well. So this leads to my question. You went to What would you say are some of the misconceptions? I noticed you went to J. Wu, Johnson and Wales, and then you went to A&T. What would you say are some of the misconceptions when it comes to the competition at both Johnson Wales and A&T?
Just the levels of play. You got some people that say, "Oh, this guy played D3, so you're not as good as this person that played D1." Like it's talent on every level. Like I've seen guys that went D3 that's way better than guys that play D1. So it's just the level of talent. It's people that went to JUCOs that's better than guys that went D1s. Everybody's story is different. So I think that's the biggest misconception, like the talent and the different levels of play.
D3, I absolutely agree because, like, I was just, I feel like when it comes to, like, say the D3, the NAIAs, the D2, and the mid majors, like, everybody can play. Like, you
Yeah,
can, I always say, like, would you rather, be on the bench for a powerhouse D1 and not get your playing time, not get your shine on? Or would you go at like say D2 mid major, D3 NAIA JUCO, get a chance the opportunity to play, and then also on top of that, you know, get a championship, add it to your
right.
resume because it's say a D1 powerhouse like a lot of people say bucket list of going. Absolutely, that's true. But
Yeah,
if you think
a lot
about
of
it,
people's dream.
that's a lot of people's dream. Yes, there you go. You took the words out of my mouth. I was like bucket list. but it's a lot of people's dream. But if you think about it in ways, you gotta go. I would say you gotta look at it. You gotta go where you are gonna be, say, celebrated, where you're gonna be like you're valued, and not just, hey, you're just another number on the bench and you don't get your playing time. You just riding on the bench, like
Mhm.
so. But and it leads to my question, like I see you definitely supporting women's sports, women's basketball. So hello,
Of course.
hey, I'm here for it. So to me, what inspired you to advocate for women's basketball?
Uh, what inspired me to advocate for women's basketball? I have sisters, and they were high level basketball players in high school. Potentially could have went D1, two of them, and I just been around it. Like I used to be at all their games, yelling from the stands, like I was playing. So that always meant a lot to me. And women's basketball is always growing, just like men's basketball. It's always going to grow. It's going to continue to grow, and women are talented as well. Like women are evolving on the court, so that's a good thing. And I'm always going to support that, especially being that I have sisters, aunts that played.
Who would you say are some of your favorite like women hoopers, like whether it's past or present, that you like? Dang, like I really like their games. Like just dang.
I like Candace Parker. Obviously, I like Asia Wilson, Paige, Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reese's hustle players. Like I like a lot of women basketball players. The Lisa Leslie's, Maya Moore's.
Thank you.
Those are dogs. Those are dogs. I'm gonna be honest. A couple of them, I be thinking like, okay, she might give me a run. It's women. It's a bunch of women that can really play.
It is interesting you mentioned Maya Moore, because I always say Maya Moore is the goat. Like that's my goat. I know everybody got goats, but I if it's one hill that I would like, how everybody says this one hill that they would die on to protect any player, they would like ride up for a player and stuff, ride till
Uh
dawn
huh.
in, it'd be Maya Moore. Like a lot of people
Maya
don't
Moore is
know,
definitely a dog.
bruh. Four, if you getting 4 rings, you make it to the title game every other year. You have the best winning percentage in your whole career, like 85 to 89% winning percentage from your high school to your college to your pros and Olympics. Yeah, and the fact that a lot of people like I feel like I wish she would still played, like because she had like literally came out, like she took a sabbatical break in her prime. But the fact
Yeah.
that she utilized, one of the biggest things I always say what I really admire about her is the fact that she utilized what she had, like her platform, and done something
Hmm.
that was so much bigger than basketball. Like, you know, just getting helping a man get exonerated, just freeing a man, and then end up they end up getting married and having that was the crazy.
Yeah, that
But
is.
like everybody, and I used to see people say, man, that man stole my more from everybody, I blame him. Like, look, you can't just blame him. Like there's a reason why they always say, like, you got to be able to utilize the platform that you have. If you have a platform that that people are gonna, hey, you see people this. I mean, shoot, there was a whole picture where, I mean, shoot, she had a whole shoe line with Jordan. I
Hmm.
mean, you get signed if you're the first female being signed with Jordan and get your own
Yeah, you
shoe.
know you're doing big things. Yeah.
I mean, and she was on the Jordan team, like on the Jordan shoe with, like, say, Carmelo, Chris Paul. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's one. That's like one play I would like. You don't play, I don't play about. So,
Mm.
but
Oh, I
it's so
forgot
interesting.
my. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I forgot one female hooper. I don't know how I forgot her, but she's been out. Juju. That's a different breed. Juju Watkins is a different breed, and she's gonna be up there with the Maya Moores, the Asia Wilsons, Candace Parkers, Lisa Leslie type players.
Juju, man, the fact that Juju signed with a NIL agent in high school, that should tell you something.
Yeah.
She signed an NIL agent. She signed an NIL agent with Clutch Sports. The fact that she did that, and then the 1 year in her freshman year, she scored like 50 something points. And that ball and the fact that the ball she scored with the 50 something points is in the Hall of Fame already while she's in college. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
that I it's just like I think Juju is gonna make it. I think she's when she comes back, it's gonna be a huge comeback for her, especially like coming back from the injury, the ACL injury. I mean,
Hmm.
I think USC with her and Jazzy
Yeah.
Davis, that's
And they
gonna be a
got they
huge.
got a great team. They're gonna have a great team.
I mean, and it's interesting like how she has her own little Funko Pop. I know, like when Funko Pop had
Mhm.
them little lines of hers, like they had a little like doll, her little doll where she had the bun. I was like, I wanted one, but I ain't got the money for that. But let me ask you something, especially coming, you coming from the college aspect, from you playing during the college aspect. What would you say? And this leads to my question. What would you say is your input on the NIL?
I actually think it's a great idea. I know people go against it because they think the kids don't take it as serious because they're making money. But I've always been a person like, well, you're gonna make money off the kid, why not give back to them? So I have no problem with NIL deals. I think it was a great idea, to be honest, and I wish they had it back then. I understand why people say it could take the love out of the game because some people do. There is some players that just go and they want to try to get NIL to set themselves up, but being young, who wouldn't? Some people, but it's understandable why people go against it, why people don't go against it. But I'm for the NIL, all for it.
I just think it's so interesting, especially like NIL has its like, does it have its pros and does it have its cons? Yes, it does. It's just like everything else. But I think when it comes to NIL, like one of the biggest things when it comes to NIL that a lot of people kind of forget about is like, say, when you get a product, right? When you are
Mm-hmm.
offered a product, when you are sent the product, you have to make the content. Like it's cool that you get the pictures and stuff and everything, but content creation with the NIL is kind of the key to keeping your NIL deal and getting paid, which of course, when you're playing in college, it's like how do you make time with the content creation to get to your so but I think I mean, for years, there's been certain players that, dang, if NIL had happened during that time, they would have been making money. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, like, if you think about, say, give an example for the men's side, John Wall. I'm pretty sure everybody loved watching John Wall play during back in Kentucky
Mm-hmm.
day. He was hyping up, like, I mean,
You got a whole dance.
yes, like a whole song and dance was made about him. He would have been making
Yeah.
bank off of that. Like with him, and then for the women's side, we'll go back to say Maya Moore, but Skylar Diggins. I know every women that I knew wanted to had the head ties like her, playing like her. So it's like if NIL had happened earlier, I think a whole lot of people's banks would have been checked.
Oh yeah,
Just
100% sure. Another big one, Zion Williamson when he was at Duke. I'm not a Duke fan. I'm a Carolina fan. But man, if he was there, I mean, if he was able to get NIL money, man, that would have been crazy.
do you remember the game when Zion played against Carolina and his shoe had fell off, had
It
busted?
busted.
And
Yeah.
do you know how influential Zion was during that year he was there to where that shoe that was it the Paul George's the
Uh,
Paul George shoe stock went down after that like I
Man,
mean,
that's crazy how much a player, when you're really that good, how much you can impact something. Like just one little thing, one small instance like that, and it'll change everything. Just because people look up to you or see, oh, this is a great player, this happened to him. What you think that happened to me? Type type of thing.
I just thought it was. I mean, yeah, Zion would have made so much money with that. But like I said, like him, but that one shoe incident cost, like, it cost a lot of it cost a lot of stock drops and money drops for Paul George. Like, hey, dang, my shoe, this
Mm.
happened to my shoe. I gotta get checked now. So, but this leads to my question. Going to the humanization side of the athlete. I first June is Men's Mental Health Month, and it leads to my question. For you as a black man and an athlete, how important is mental health to you?
Man, mental health is you can't play any sport if your mental is not right. You can you can say some people say, oh, basketball is my getaway, but in reality, like if you're not mentally straight, you won't play good. You're overthinking on the court. Your body will react as well. If your mental's not right, whatever's up here, your body's gonna react to it. So mental health is very important. Like I would encourage all athletes to talk to somebody, even if it's you talk to yourself. Look in the mirror, talk to yourself, talk to a family or a friend. Walk around, you can talk to strangers. Some people find comfort in just telling somebody that don't know nothing about them. But your mental is very important, especially in the sports world, because it'll eat you alive.
From here, I always wonder this, especially for, like, when it comes to opening up, whether it's about mental health and feelings wise. From your aspect, and especially as a man, why do you believe it is difficult for a man to open up when it comes to mental health?
I think it's hard. It's tough for men to open up because they have that responsibility of trying to take care of everybody. They're usually the ones that's putting everything on their shoulders. They got to listen to everybody's problems. So they like, oh well, I got to be strong because I got to be here for this person. When in reality, like you are here for somebody else and this person and that person and that person, but you're not getting everything out that you need to get out, and it eventually takes a toll on you. It can break you down like mentally. So yeah, just the fact that men are usually taught to shoulder everything, like oh, we got to be the tough guy. We gotta stay strong for your kids, your siblings, your parents, like anybody, your friends. And when you've been raised like that to carry the weight on your shoulders, you tend to like forget about how you feel or put how you feel to the side to try to help somebody else.
I just always wonder that, especially, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like, you know, I've always wondered, it's like, there's days where sometimes they don't want to be strong all the time. Like, they just want to relax. They just want to, like, just not be weak, but just relax. Like, not having to carry the weight on their shoulders all the time, especially, like, you know, they don't want to have, like, say, that stigma where if they show emotion, they're considered weak. Because I feel like that, to me, I look at it. A man should be able to show emotion. I mean, shoot, if
I agree
say,
100%.
especially say, if anybody read the Bible, the strongest man alive wept. Even said in the Bible, Jesus wept, who is considered the strongest man alive. Who, the fact that the strongest man alive wept, like, because I look at it as like a man should have, say, a safe space where he's able to express himself, where he's going to be respected, where he's going to be heard and seen. And, because if you give, say, a man a safe space where he's going to be respected, that is the ultimate sign of respect and appreciation for him. So I just like always wonder, like, is there's moments where, that time where I just like, just give them that relaxation time where just, they don't have to be strong all the time. Like, I don't want to be strong all the time, but I mean, I have to, but like, you know, it's like, I need, I don't want to say I need help, but like, can I just like say something and just like be able to
And
be
I
free?
opened up. Yeah, that's true. And I think because of the society norm, where they see everybody just like, I'd rather keep it to myself because some people may feel nobody's there, nobody listens to them, so they just decide to keep it in.
And that's
But
just
it's
like, and
definitely a
it
good thing. Okay.
for sure, like, cause it's like if you think about it, and I just realized there's like say stats about like say men's mental health where like say men like are they disappear like 3 times more than say their counterparts, the women. It's like, yo, like if that doesn't like to me, like I look at it as like somebody needs to give like say that safe space or be have like that safe space for a man to be able to be open up. Because I feel like for me, I know it safe because ladies, this is what y'all need to do, and anybody too. Let a man speak up. Let a man be. Let just be a safe space for a man. Because I promise you, if you do, that is something. Because one thing for sure, I just need like a man needs that safe space where he is heard and respected. That's the ultimate sign is the respect. Because, but it leads to my question too. Who would you say is someone that inspires you both on and off the court? Like, who is your why?
My why, my why on and off the court is now my most recent born daughter. She's 1 years old. My daughter Royalty, and my little brother, my Pat. He's recent, well not recent passed. He passed. It will be 10 years ago, the end of this year. So, or no, 11 years. I'm sorry. So
So your why
my
is
my brother,
your
my little brother, and my daughter. Yeah.
why are they your whys?
Those were so my little brother passed my senior year of high school, 2 weeks into my senior year of high school, and he was like my biggest supporter. Like always pushed me to work on my game. Always wanted he always wanted me to get better, and we were always around each other. Very competitive, and when I lost him, it's like I gotta like this thing. Basketball is what he wanted me to be great at, and what I wanted to be great at as well. But at times it felt like he pushed me more than I pushed myself. So, and I'll never forget that. And that's one of the biggest reasons I really like got more into the game than I did. I always loved basketball, but once my brother passed, it just like became a passion. Like, because I always felt like basketball, like I love the sport, but my brother pushed me to higher limits with it, and just being around the game. So yeah, my brother and my daughter just continue to keep me going on the court. That's all I think about before games, after games, warm ups. I've always been that way.
Oh, come through with it. Since first of all, because this leads to my question, and how did, and forgive me for asking. So I just find it amazing to see like say you see fathers and having kids and then playing as well. I think it's like to me I'm like how do y'all balance this? But from your experience, how do you balance fatherhood and basketball simultaneously?
Um, it's definitely fatherhood is a blessing actually, and mentioning it, it's two things I love to do. I love my daughter. I love basketball, and when she's so young, kids like they love anything that their parents love to do. So my daughter's been to one of my games, and she was what 6 months, and it was actually in the league game last summer. And every time I ran down the court, she was locked in the whole game, like just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And just her being there, it just it did something to me. Like I played the best basketball I played ever. Played like wasn't missing shots, was winning games. It's a different feeling. But the balance isn't really hard because you can, as a father, you're gonna make time for your kids. It's just it's a different feeling. And it's the same with basketball. Like when you love something that much, you'll work it out. You can balance it easily, in my opinion.
That's real. Let me get my little tangible because it's so real. Because I'm gonna tell you this, it is so like I would say it is so real because like I see, um, you know, just I always think to myself like, dang, how do y'all balance, especially like the basketball players that like either play in the league or even overseas. Like, dang, how do y'all balance all this at the same time? Like, there's like especially like there has to be like some type of balance or some type of thing like, you know, one of those things like they're on your mind all the time too, but like you have those moments like you gotta lock in, like I'm doing this for them too. It's not just for me anymore. It's like I gotta do
Mhm.
this for them now. Like it's not me anymore, it's not about me, it's just them. So I was like, I'm like, kudos, I'm here for that. I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm like, no. So but it leads to my question is, if there was a word or a phrase to describe your journey so far, what would it be?
Um, Different, and I say different because people don't. A lot of people don't know this, but when I first went to Johnson and Wales, I didn't even plan on going to school. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't plan on going to school. I didn't think I was going to get into school because I went to a school in Winston-Salem called Walkertown, and it was a small school, and our basketball program wasn't the best. So, and I wanted to go to school to play basketball. That was that was my thing, and I had no offers, no interest coming out of high school. My high school coach actually looked out for me and got me a tryout at Johnson Wales, and I went out there with like 50 people and made the team. And since then, I've just been rolling. Like, but I was only at Johnson and Wales for 3 months. Like I said, my brother had passed, not even a full year once I started there, and I was only with the team for 5 games. I got kicked off for academic academics. I was put on academic suspension, so I got kicked off the team, and I left school. I was out of school for 2 years. I went back, and I ended up getting my grades right and transferred to A&T. While I didn't play at A&T, I wish I regret not trying, but I just wish I wish I would have had the confidence and believed in myself like everybody else did to go to try and get back on the court. I, I still to this day still think about trying to go play overseas, play some semi-pro. We'll see how that goes.
I would say go for it. Shoot, if you see yourself saying you want to go back and get your eligibility back, because clearly you still If you think about it, yes, you graduated like academically, but in ways you still have your eligibility. It hasn't been used all of it. If you see yourself wanting to go back, I would say go back for it if you want the eligibility of the experience of college. But if you see yourself, but I would also say go for it on, say, the semi pro or the overseas route. I would say just go for it, especially if you, like I said, if you see yourself doing it, go for it, because that is on you. If you see yourself doing it, like, you know, because
That is true.
I'm just, I'm, I'm just saying,
Confidence,
because
confidence goes a long way. That's really important when it comes to stuff like that. As long as you have confidence in yourself, like, and you know you're capable of doing things, and other people know you're capable of doing things, you can get to where you want to. You just got to be 100% all in if you really want to do it.
I think the biggest thing that a lot of athletes got to do, really, you mentioned it, is confidence, but you got to bet on yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do not, who is going to bet on you? And I'm not talking about gambling betting, y'all. I'm talking about believing, betting on yourself, not no goddamn gambling. Gambling has messed up the sports world. I'm gonna say this: a lot of people, it has
For
messed up,
sure.
but a lot of people ain't ready for that conversation because, boy, oh boy, I know people love money and love to bet on stuff, but some of y'all ain't ready for that conversation of how it kind of really messed up the sports world, especially
Mhm.
since a lot of, say, players, coaches, and even refs be involved with it. They like to have their, but folks ain't ready for that conversation. But I don't. I would bring up the conversation, but I know it would make a lot of people clutch their pearls, which I don't mind making people clutch pearls, but folks ain't ready for that conversation. But this leads to my question is, and I always ask my guests this question because Bonafide means authentic and unique, but for the men, the authenticity. So, what makes Mr. Quinton Campbell authentic, and what makes your story stand out?
What makes me authentic? I'm always myself, and I've always been like that since I picked up a basketball. Like you is you always gonna get the same me. Like I'm never different. No matter the day, if I'm on a basketball court, I'm always gonna be the same every time. And what makes my story unique is that like I lost what I had, and I got it back. Well, and to a certain extent, I got it back, bounced back, graduated college, and now I'm balancing everything. So,
Hey, one thing for sure, can't nobody take away that degree though. Can't nobody take away that degree.
right.
So it's like I got that degree. I earned it. I earned my way. I earned it. Said can't nobody take away a degree, especially if you earn it, especially if you work for it, everything. Can't take away that degree. But like, yeah. It's like I'm here for it. So, hey, all I know is, especially when you get that degree though, you be like, yeah, that's when all like everything's like all the stuff that you went through, all the L's, all the lessons and everything's like, man, I'm here for it. Can't nobody take away that. Like, so,
Yeah.
but Quinn, can you let the folks know how they can support you and find you in any upcoming games happening your way, sir?
Uh, First of all, I want to shout out Mr. Steve, the league. We got games every Saturday during the summer at CP3D1. But you guys can follow me on Instagram at girl that's Q. I'll be on Twitter, Hoop Assassin underscore 12. That's about it. I don't really be on any other social media. I mean, I got Facebook. Yeah, but
Y'all be sure.
follow me on
Go ahead.
Instagram for sure.
Y'all be sure to follow the man, the myth, the legend himself, Quentin, at girl that's dot Q. So girl that's as in DATS, the period, and then the letter Q. Girl that's Q. Like, Girl, that's cute like Quincy McCall. That's girl, that's cute. But not Quincy, but his name's Hugh, like Quinton. But girl, that's cute. Be sure to follow him. And also, every Saturday, the League NC, summer games, summer league, 3 through 6. Both courts, court 1 and 2. All the games, 3 for 6. You should be sure to check him out. Hooping at CP3 Academy every Saturday. Be sure to check him out because I promise y'all, it is lit. How I know it, because I hoop too, and I do post-game interviews. But be sure to check out and follow Quinn Campbell at Instagram at Girl That's Q. And be sure to check him out at the League NC every Saturday from 3 to 6 to check out all his games. So be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide Podcast, episode 235, featuring the one and only Quinton Campbell. Big shout out to Quinton for coming on the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.